One of the thugs poured forth his story. He gave his name and address, as did the other, and both made the statement that they were out of work at present. Prale stepped forward and gave his name. The lieutenant stared at him in surprise. "Why, it's the guy who croaked that man Shepley!" one of the thugs cried. "There ought to be a way of stoppin' him runnin' around and assaultin' and killin' folks. If it hadn't been for the cops—" "Shut up!" Sidney Prale commanded loudly, ignoring the presence of the officers. "You fellows made a deliberate attack on me and you know it. And I want to know who paid you to do it. Understand?" "You're crazy," said one of the thugs. Prale turned to the lieutenant. "I'd like to have Jim Farland sent for," he said. "He has been handling things for me. I want him to investigate these men. I have an idea that the names and addresses they gave are fictitious. Recently enemies of mine have caused me considerable trouble, and I feel sure that these men were hired to attack me. Fortunately, my valet was walking a short distance behind me, and rushed up and helped me hold them off." "I'm ready to put up bail, and so is my pal," said one of the thugs angrily. "In that case, I'll have to let you go for the present," the lieutenant said. "The charge is fighting and disorderly conduct, and bail will be $100 in each case. You may use the telephone if you wish, Mr. Prale." Prale hurried to the telephone, called Jim Farland's office, and was informed that Farland had not been there, and that the girl in charge did not know where he was, or what he was doing, or when he would return. Prale left instructions for Farland and went back to the desk. "This is a serious business, though it may not look like it on the face," he said. "I'd like to have these men held until we can make sure they have given correct names and addresses." "No use holding them if they have given bail," the lieutenant replied. "I think it's nothing but a regular scrap. You can talk to the judge later, all of you." Prale took a roll of bills from his pocket and put up cash bail for both Murk and himself. One of the thugs followed suit and, pulling out a roll of bills, stripped off $200 and arranged for the release of himself and his partner. "You seem to have a lot of money for men who are out of work," Prale said. "Been saving it, and it's none of your business anyway," growled the other. They started toward the door, and Prale and Murk followed them, watched them until they started away, and then turned back to bathe their faces and hands. Then Prale got a taxicab and drove to the office of a physician, who did his best to make the countenances of Prale and Murk presentable. It was an hour later when Jim Farland called Prale by telephone at the hotel. "I've investigated that little matter, Sid," he reported. "Those fellows gave fictitious addresses, as you supposed they had done, and it is an even bet that the names they gave were fictitious, too. No doubt about it, Sid, they were hired to get you. You'd better be on guard and a bit careful." Chapter 15. Recording by Roger Moline.